Western feminism is a scam. I came across this video yesterday and a lot of things really rang true for me. My mother was, I would say, a victim of this scam, and so therefore, so was my family. She was taught by the company that she was working at the time. She was pushed into choosing between her family and her career. And at some point, I think you have to be brainwashed as a mother to think that your career and competing with men is so much more important than raising your family. A job will come and go, they don't care about you, but your family, there's nothing more important than family. And any culture that shames women into believing that what they're doing, raising their children and their family, is not the most important thing we can do for our future, that if that's what they're telling us, then wherever that message is coming from, it's a scam.
Sounds good though, doesn't it? To get the woman into the workforce, let's get it cracking. Ladies, get out there. You can do everything that a man can do, baby. But anyway, before we get into it, it's your favorite Everything JR Wisdom. Hit that like and subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos that have content like this. Let's run it up to 100,000. Quit playing with me. I'm glad she said this. A lot of women fall into this trap. It sounds good. You know, the pep rally. I'm not saying women that you can't, you know, if you don't really care about a family, it's hard to do. It's hard to juggle both. A lot of women will come on my videos where I've talked about something like this, and they'll say, "Oh, I've done this. I've been a lawyer, a full-time attorney. I sucked my man's dick and gave him sex and did all of this crazy stuff. It's doable." Baby, what's the percentage like fact? My kids, all kids were valedictorian of their classes. Baby. The Western, and this is what a lot of countries, you know, Westernization is becoming a global thing. Don't get me wrong, slowly but surely. And a lot of the countries in the East are not really feeling it, but it's slowly becoming that way. That's why one of the biggest, even though in the U.S. where I'm located at, many people are relocating here from different countries, and they're noticing and they're trying to maintain their values. But it's hard to do that, but because with freedom there comes a price. And the propaganda, as a lot of people like to call it, that we see on sitcoms, television, even coming down from our government, pushing it down, that's all we're seeing. Women are equal. The meshing and blurring of lines of genders and sex is basically making these things seem like that, you know, men and women can do what men do, and they should not be oppressed. Now, women definitely, I don't feel there's a difference between being oppressed and then basically saying as a woman, I should be able to do exactly what a man does. Baby, go for it. There's a reason why the majority of these blue collar, hard-working jobs, it's not because of discrimination, but there's a majority that most of these jobs are filled by men. The overwhelming majority are filled by men. The hard work, the structures, the building of society, the creation of society is done by men. The nurturing at home is done by women. A child's first teacher is a woman. I don't take anything from a woman. I'm not one of those people that say, a woman's good for nothing but bearing children, and after that, she's obsolete. No, there's a necessity for women. Women have certain talents and abilities that men don't have, or they're able to be received in a way. And you guys can get mad, especially you He-Man woman haters that are watching this. They're better received in that manner. When you think about your mother, you can say, okay, like she said, my mother was this, my mother was that. Your mother does become your first teacher, and it's important for your mother to be your first teacher, right? That child needs that grooming. That child needs that nurturing, especially when you're starting a family. If you're always out raising everyone else's kids or dealing with everyone else's problems, by the time you get home, you're drained. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to mess with any of this stuff, right? You have no time for it. And this is where your children basically suffer in the process. So your family suffers in the process overall. Your husband, like a lot of dudes, unless you got a side chick or you got somebody that's feeding your emotional needs and or sexual needs as a man, you know, women can be focused on those things and, you know, get it here and there because they're so focused on it. Because this westernization of the world has convinced women that they have to outdo men, or they have to be accomplished in order to be respected. In order for a man to view you as his equal, you have to become his equal or be smarter than him, when that's not really what men value at the end of the day. Baby, by all means, if you don't want to start a family, go for it. I've done sessions with women where they'd be like, well, will a man think I'm too independent if I do this, if I do that? Baby, if you don't want to start a family, do that. If you don't want a husband, do that. But there has to be a balance with these things. Me, with a woman, what I'm looking for in a woman, I'm looking for a woman that's available to me. She doesn't have to be available all the time, because I understand that people have things to do. But if we're in a serious relationship, you need to be available to me. It's not just every now and then. If we're dating, you know, every now and then is cool. But if we're in a relationship, and if that's what you want, ask yourself, why is it that you want a relationship? Is the first question. But back to what she said, the whole family suffered, including she got these ideas, or her mother passed down these ideas to her, that this is the right approach, this is the right way to go. You need to become something in this world, and you need to be the spearhead. You can do it all. You can be this, you can be that, you can be a mother, you can be a professional, you can raise your kids all at once. And a woman in that process, she ends up becoming jaded, because she feels like she has to do all of that. You might as well be a single mom. You got a husband, but you feel like you have to do all these things, and a lot of these things you're going to fall short on. I don't care what those other women were saying on these videos about, I was able to do this, I was able to do that. Man, cut out the bull. It's not realistic, and I think we need to be realistic about that. And stop playing and saying that we can raise a family. And even as a father, and I know a lot of you men that are watching who are fathers like myself, you can relate to it, that it's one of those things where you feel like you fall short if you're always working. Dame Dash said something that's important, and I know y'all probably like, JR, you're jumping all over the place. Wouldn't you want to take your kids to school in the morning? Wouldn't you want to spend time with your kids? Wouldn't you want time to bond with your son, with your daughter? And he goes into the whole point of working for yourself or being an entrepreneur, where you're able to have time to do that. But wouldn't you want to do that? We were able to do that, 50, 60 years ago. We're able to do that. And when not as many women were working, but we were able to do that. And the mother was available. We didn't outsource childcare to another entity to raise our children for us. Fathers were more involved, but I think that that's more important. That's something that I regret as a father personally, is that we're so focused on this rat race instead of developing important relationships with our immediate family and children. And then your kids end up resenting you, or you don't even know how to communicate with your kids anymore, which is very unfortunate. So don't let this westernization BS fool you. And then when you get old and lonely, and your kids don't like you, or you don't have anybody that wants to come and visit you anymore because you were an asshole all your life and you didn't have time, it's something to think about. And I know this video may not get a lot of views, but I think that this is very important. And I appreciate you guys who watched the video up to this point and realize how serious this is. And it should not be taken for granted. You're here during this finite time, and you should take advantage of it and be able to foster these relationships that you're looking for. Cultivate these relationships with your children and raise them. So guys, that's what I think is important. Westernization has been a bane to society, for lack of a better term. But I don't want to talk too much because I could go on forever with this topic. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree to book a one-on-one with yours truly. And with that being said, follow me on Instagram. Why did I say with that being said? Follow me on Instagram, guys. Purchase all my books, merch, t-shirts, and stick around for the next video. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. This is Wisdom. Click on that video. I'm out of here. Peace.
It's God's beat maker.
And I don't know. I will put a light in the sky for the G's that done turn memory from go. Blessings we send to the ghetto youth them.